Welcome to the Piston Fanatic. I'm your host, Dave Dalton, and I'm excited to share my passion and perspective of our Detroit Pistons as we go on this fantastic voyage together. I've been a diehard Piston fan since the days of Dave Bing and Bob Lanier. I've also been the varsity basketball coach of a very successful program in Northern Michigan. I want to thank all of you for listening. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click on that thumbs up button. Tell a friend. Our Pistons won 13 in a row, 122-117 to the Indiana Pacers, and they tied the record for the franchise. The Bad Boys won 13 in a row at one time, and the Going to Work team won 13 in a row. So Wednesday, we're playing the Celtics, and we're going for the record. If we beat the Celtics, that'll be the longest winning streak in Piston history. How ironic that on this exact date, 2 years ago, we lost our 13th in a row in Indiana, and then today, on the exact same date, we won our 13th in a row in Indiana. So pretty cool, pretty amazing. But yeah, it was a game. It looked like we were going to blow them out. It looked like we just were going to dominate them. We had a 71-55 halftime lead, and then the Pacers went on a 16-5 run. Then Jade and I became in the game, and we went on a 10-2 run, and he did some great things. He made a bunch of shots. He didn't play very many minutes. He played under 12 minutes, and he was 5 for 10. And so I don't know. I think he played more minutes in the first game, but we'll see what happens. I hope he starts getting to play more. He's not. You can't expect him to play perfect, but he can make things happen for us. But yeah, and with 6 minutes left in the game, we were ahead by 11. And then with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, we were ahead by 8. And then Cade missed a free throw, and then it ended up getting cut down to 120-117. And yeah, it was crazy. Like, this can't be happening. And Jarris Walker, they got a player, Jarris Walker, that was drafted a few years ago. He was 8 for 10 and 5 for 6 on threes. And for the season, he's shooting 30% from the floor and 28% on threes, and he goes 5 for 6. And that's just the craziness of the NBA and what can happen. And Jay Huff makes 2 out of 3 threes, and Jeremiah Earl is 2 for 3 on threes. And so that's what kind of swung the game at the end. But we had some little lulls. I still think it's going to be so challenging for JB to get a feel for who gets to play how many minutes. We're going to talk about that more and examine some of the minutes and try to analyze and see what is going on, what thinking is going on. But Cade didn't get 25 and 10. He had that streak that was the 4th longest in NBA history, but he got 4 shots in the first half. 4 shots. He had 6 rebounds in the first half and 4 shots. And so you're not going to score 25 points very often, but he ended up with 24, and he missed 1 free throw right at the end when we really needed it, and he missed another free throw like late in the game or with 6 minutes or so left in the game. But yeah, he didn't take that many shots. And then he ended up with 11 rebounds, but he had only 6 assists. But he had a whole bunch of assists. You know, he throws it into Duran. Duran's going to get a dunk, and they just hack him, and so he doesn't get. Cade makes a great pass. It should have been an assist. And then he threw an alley-oop to Asar, who just missed the dunk, wide open. And then he made a great pass to Tobias. Tobias got his dunk blocked. And then there are other passes where he throws them into the guys. And that's just going to happen from time to time, where you throw a pass to some guy for an easy shot and they get fouled. But it happened several times tonight. But it always happens. But tonight, like I said, there were enough things that could have happened that he could have maybe got up to 10. But not the most important thing. Really, the most important thing is not even the streak. The most important thing is 15 and 2. That's our record. And so that is just huge. And, you know, you stack those wins. They matter now just as much as they matter at the end of the year. Yeah, Asar had a really good game. You know, I said he missed that dunk, but he picks up guys full court, you know, and he says he likes doing it. It gets his mindset, and he gets in their head, and it certainly does. It runs the shot clock down, so they're already, you know, later in the clock, at least 8 seconds into the clock before they even can start anything. And he was 6 for 9 tonight in 30 minutes, and he was 1 for 1 on free throws, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, which is really good. 1 steal, 13 points. Tobias played 26 minutes. So I This is what I think. I think Asar should play 30 minutes, and maybe a little bit more sometimes. And he wasn't in foul trouble, so that was a good thing. Tobias played 26. That's what I think he should play, and he's coming back from injury. But he was 4 for 8 and 1 for 2 on threes and 3 for 3. So great shooting game. He only had 1 rebound and 2 assists, though. But he had 12 points. But that was still a really good, solid game. He was very, very efficient. And like I said, everybody can't play 30 some minutes. So Duran played 30 minutes. So I think Duran should play 30 minutes. But he was 6 for 10, and that's not quite as good as usual. 5 for 8. He's been missing free throws the last couple games. 12 rebounds, which is still good. 2 assists, 3 turnovers, which is too many for him for the amount of times he touches it. But he had 5 fouls, but he had 17 points. So here's where it starts getting funny. You could tell who JB really trusts, respects, or whatever reason. But Duncan Robinson played the second most minutes on our team, 34 minutes. We got all these guys that play his position. He's 2 for 10, and he's 1 for 8. And we need Duncan. Duncan's been great. He's had a lot of great games, and we need him. But what I've always contended is when a guy struggles, we got all these other guys that can play, and you're 2 for 10 and 1 for 8, and you're bad on defense. He did have 4 rebounds, but 0 assists, and he gets 4 fouls. He can't guard anybody, and he fouls. And he ended up with 9 points. But the irony, the plus minus, I haven't talked too much in detail about that this year. It matters, and most of the time it can give somewhat of a picture of what a guy's play like. But Duncan was plus 15, highest on the team. He's 2 for 10 and 1 for 8 and no assists and 4 fouls. And it just, sometimes you just kind of get lucky. But anyway, Cade was 36 minutes, only person that played, and that's what he should play approximately. 34 to 36, and maybe sometimes more. It depends on the game, but I like the way JB gets him in and out sometimes. But he was 8 for 18, not great. 0 for 2 on threes. He shot the 3 good last game. I was hoping he'd be able to come back and do it again, but he was 8 for 10. You always expect him to make every free throw, but 11 rebounds, 6 assists, only 3 turnovers for playing 36 minutes and handling the ball as much as he did. That's not bad. And like I said, he had a lot of passes that could have been assists tonight that didn't get to be assists. But LeVert, there's a guy listening to his podcast, he calls him Careless LeVert. I still think sometimes he dribbles too much for too long, and when he just makes plays, he can be good. He can make assists. He can score the ball. He was really, really efficient tonight, 5 for 9. JB trusted him, had him in at the end of the game. He usually doesn't even play 23 minutes a lot of nights, but he was, like I said, really efficient. 6 for 9 on free throws. That wasn't good, but his other shooting percentages were really good. But only 1 rebound, but he did have 3 assists. So he had 19 points, so that was a big outing from him. Here's another hard one. Stu played 20 minutes. As good as the defense as Stu played, he was 4 for 6, 1 for 2 on threes, 5 rebounds in only 20 minutes. And he only had 1 block tonight, but 9 points. So I think Stu should always play like 24 minutes. So if Duran plays 30 minutes, that means there's 18 minutes left at the backup center. And we didn't play my guy B-Ball Paul at all tonight. He played 0 minutes. And it's hard. So he got at least 12 guys in the first half, but then Danis didn't get in the second half. Holland played 11 minutes. He had 0 shots, 0 free throws, 0 threes, but he did have 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, and he had 2 big jump balls where he dove in there and battled and got the ball and tied up 2 guys, and he was playing hard. He's playing with more energy tonight. He still thinks that he never fouls anybody, and he's got to try to stop fouling. He's going to foul the way he plays aggressive and assertively. That's not the end of the world, but yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. So all these guys play these good minutes, but Jaden Ivey is at 12, played 12, less than 12 actually, and he was 5 for 10, 2 for 3 on threes. He had a huge step back. The 1-3 that he missed, I think, was a desperation shot at the buzzer. I thought they weren't going to count those for misses, but it wasn't a half-court shot. I think it has to be a shot out way beyond the three-point line. Then it doesn't count on your shooting percentage. It counts as a team shot, but not as against your individual shooting percentage. So, yeah, he had 3 rebounds and 1 assist. He was +7, 12 points. So he's scored double digits both games in very, very few minutes. So, yeah, Danis played well. Danis did his Danis things, but he played just under 8 minutes, and he was 1 for 2 on threes. That's all he shot. And then he had 2 for 2 on free throws, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 points. And Green played 11 minutes, which is the lowest he's had in a long time. 1 for 2 from the field. He had 1 turnover, but it was a big one. It was late in the game when they were making their comeback, and he's inbounding the ball after a made basket. And sneaky TJ McConnell, I should have looked how many points. He really burned us tonight. He was bad when we played them last week, but he was making his shots tonight, and LeVert was right in front of Green, and he could have just passed it to him, and instead he throws this weak, lazy pass to Asar, and CJ comes in there and scoops it up and lays it in, and that was, really gave them momentum. So, yeah, it's been fun. It's fun. We just got to enjoy it. Again, I don't envy JB when I question the minutes players play, and he's got his hands full. And like I said, when you start playing Ivy more than 11 minutes, then what's going to happen? I mean, more than 12 minutes. So every minute you give to one guy, you take a minute away from another guy. So, but thank you for listening. I'm going to make it a short one tonight. We should all be thrilled. Again, it was disappointing and frustrating, and we got to be better than what we did at the end. Their record is terrible, and they won like 2 games the whole year, and so we should have taken care of them, especially with our depth. And I thought, like I said, we had some big leads at times, but we'll see what the Celtics are going. The Celtics have been hot lately. The Celtics, I know they had a stretch where they won 5 out of 6. They might have lost 1 after that. But, yeah, so we play the Celtics Wednesday, 5 o'clock game. Don't forget, it's the night. They're doing some little special the night before Thanksgiving. And so there's 3 games nationally televised. And so that's one of them. And it's a cup game. So we got going for the all-time record, going for the cup. And then Friday, if we beat the Celtics, then we play the Magic on Friday, and they've been a little bit up and down. But if we can beat the Magic on Friday, that guarantees that we'll get to go, I think, to Las Vegas for the tournament. Once you got to win your pool, and then you get to go to the tournament. So anyway, hope we do it. Thank you for listening. Please tell a friend. Please be the reason that someone feels grateful for your friendship. Be thankful for every day we have together, and go Pistons.